ask the question, what is it, are you an explorer or a prisoner or a vacationer?
Yeah.
And in the room. So, if you're a prisoner, that somebody said you have to be there, and if you're a vacationer, every once in a while you can't come in and out of the situation, and if you're an explorer, you're really interested in what they're saying. And I thought, okay, well, I'm in between a captured person and somebody on vacation in their head. Because I felt like I was in a class on how to speak Chinese or something.
Speak Chinese.
What are they talking about?
That's why we couldn't find you. You're in the wrong room.
Okay. No, it was good. It was really good.
Good. Well, what do you want to talk about today?
I don't know. I was thinking about surveillance.
Oh, really? What about
it? Just, what are the do's and don'ts?
Okay. So what are the do's and don'ts of surveillance?
Well, in Texas, if I am engaged in a conversation with you, I can record it without telling you. But I have to be engaged in the conversation. Like if Kent and I are talking and I'm recording it, I don't have to tell him. But I have to be engaged in this conversation. Federal law and state law both say if I'm recording Kent and Paula talking, unless I'm with the FBI or somebody, like a person's not supposed to do that. And so a seller who has cameras who are audio recording, they are violating federal law.
They are?
They are. And
went on a listing and they were so proud of all that.
yeah. Well, they're violating federal law, and I think that article I gave you will tell you that TAR has some stuff on the listing agreement. We're still okay using the TAR listing agreement that speaks to that, but you need to just simply advise them they should speak to an attorney before they turn on the audio when a buyer is looking at the house, unless they are there engaged in the conversation. If they are there and the buyers are walking through and they're walking through with them, which, how does anybody feel about that, just sort of in general? Okay, I thought so. And I've probably walked out of where I'm supposed to stand.
No, you're good.
But anyway, they can record that. But they can't record it if they're not there and in the conversation.
Even in their own personal home?
Even in their own personal home. Until this is tried in a court, and I believe it will be. Because this is a big, big deal. We have actually had sellers do this and hear the buyers say things like, oh my gosh, this is the only house we've seen that fits our family's needs. And they go in with a lower offer, and guess what? The seller knows they'll pay more. They'll pay whatever they have to pay. And you stop making admissions. Scott's in the back going, I think I must have done that. They need to contact their attorney before they record buyers and inspectors and other agents in their home.
And open houses too then?
Open houses too.
When you say record, like if somebody's actually
Audio.
in real time, does that count as the same thing?
Not unless they're there.
Okay, so that's the same thing.
Yeah,
Bill Nations used to record his agents, remember that?
I do. That was a long time ago,
I used
wasn't
to go
it?
over and say, turn off that tape recorder. Yeah.
There's so many things we could go there, but we're not going to. We are not going there. We're in my head, but anyway.
So we're to basically recommend they don't do that?
You're
I
supposed to
don't
tell
wanna know
them,
if they are doing
you want to tell them if they have camera equipment that records audio, they need to speak to an attorney before they record anyone inside their home that is authorized to be there as a part of the possible sale of their home. Obviously if it's a burglar, that's why they do that, but I have the law. I'm happy to share it with you.
Big thing is you don't want us to practice law, to pass it on to the attorney.
That's right. I don't want you telling them they can't do it.
Yeah.
I want you to tell them to contact an attorney. What they're violating is the Electronic Privacy and Electronic Communications Privacy Act. And This is it. If you want to read it, it's not a whole lot of pages, but anyway. So we don't want them doing that. I think there'll be more things that come out. That article might, once you have a chance to read it, that might help you get the point across. I think you could put that in a listing presentation where a seller has audio and video. Now, this doesn't cover video. They could video people. And people, that I'm going to bring it to you, people have a right to privacy in places where privacy would be expected. Like, there can't be a camera in the bathroom. Okay, that should go without saying. So that's kind of what surveillance is all about. The thing that we hope you are telling your buyers, if you're showing property, before you get out of a car, even before you get out of the car in front of the house, once we get out of my car, don't say anything out loud that would impact your negotiating position if this is the house for you. Because doorbells, with audio recording equipment, all of that stuff, some of which have long ranges, so they can hear you standing out by the car talking. And we can't assume that the seller cares or even knows about their own violation of federal law. Because everybody who's from Texas knows only one person in a conversation has to know you're being recorded. And they're thinking, I know I'm recording them. What they forget is you have to be there to do that. You can't just stick a bug in somebody's office. I mean, you can, but it's a violation of law.
But it's not admissible in a court.
So if you take a listing as the listing agent, do you have to legally ask them? Do you have surveillance?
At this moment in time, no. I would just be putting this piece of paper or something like it in every listing presentation until we get someone else litigates this.
That's not involved with our
That
office.
is not involved with our office. Because I think there's a possibility, I don't know, there's all kinds of things that I think that a court should do and they don't. But it seems awfully much like I have the right to do what I need to do on my property kind of thing, and to protect my home and family and all that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to run up against, the case will be interesting when it occurs. That's all I'm going to say. And how an upper court will decide, I don't know. But somebody somewhere is going to have the money to test this.
This is going to be a Supreme Court case.
Yeah, this will go to
eventually.
the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So I'm not aware of one at this moment making its way around, but maybe there is, and I just don't know about it. So that's the surveillance one. I know y'all have talked to your silly about wire transfer fraud, but that's another one that people talk about. Wire transfer fraud. Y'all have heard that till you're sick about it, right? We're going to keep talking about it because we don't want you to do that. Get caught in the middle of that.
Yep, definitely.
I was looking at what else we were covering. See, I know a lot more about cyber crime than I do about command.
We'll get you there.
NAR has a toolkit called Data Security and Privacy Toolkit. If you are really nerdy about all of this stuff, you could download this and read about all kinds of cyber issues. One of the things we're putting in our policy that hopefully you all already do that is a requirement that your email that you use for business have a two-step verification. Does everybody know what that is? Some of you do, some of you don't. Somebody had to show me how to do that, but I use Gmail, and I went in, and if anybody tries to change my password, I get a text that says, here's your secret code to change your password. And if I didn't do it, whoa, then I know somebody's gotten and is trying to hack me. And my whatever you call it, that insurance that probably everybody
Cyber
pays
fraud.
for, cyber fraud insurance. No, the personal one.
Oh,
Identity theft stuff.
Yeah.
Identity theft stuff. I got one the other day that it was possible that my KW email had been hacked. I didn't get the two-step verification even though I have it all set up, but they thought it had, so I changed the password. And that makes me crazy because now I can't remember what my password is. I have to look it up every time. But still, these are the kind of things. We just have to be, what?
You sure it wasn't a record?
It could have been. We just have to be ever vigilant, and I very old-fashioned about all this stuff. So, what are you gonna
We
say?
get a lot of that on our, I get a lot of that on credit cards.
Oh yeah.
Wells Fargo and American Express. I mean, they will, and American Express doesn't notify you through an email. You just remember that. I mean, if you get these
They text me.
yeah,
They
you can
text
turn
me.
it on if you have American Express. We're getting off the topic right now, but,
Yeah, but they
you
do
can
text.
turn it on to where they'll send you a text notification every single time something's going on.
Yeah, they text me if I've been, actually, that's a funny story, Glenda. I got a text from them saying, basically, were you at Chanel buying stuff? Thanks, Lauren. Only Lauren knew how funny that was.
It was actually Harry. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, indeed, I had not, and I thought it was kind of interesting because a week later, I was at a gun store in Austin where they sell a lot of guns and things to police officers, and I bought some stuff, and they didn't call me. You know, they're watching what you. That's right. I was
That
gonna
was
say.
their AI.
Yeah, that's their artificial intelligence. I'd never been in Chanel, and clearly and obviously never been there. So Lauren was funny.
That's awesome.
But that's.
I have to tell the story that somebody gave you a thank you for speaking someplace, and they gave you 2 gift certificates of polar opposites. There was Nordstrom, which is the only place for shoes, and Tractor Supply.
It was the perfect gift for me. Because I actually do shop at Nordstrom and Tractor Supply. That's my AI. Yep.
So recently, 2 counties have voted to change their position to Tier 2, where the voters of an annex or a proposed annexation area have to vote and approve it. Do you know if Williamson and Travis are Tier 1 or Tier 2?
I have no idea.
Annexation has to be approved by the.
I have no idea.
Okay.
You know, there's a battle going on right now down in Austin where the state is trying to really limit some of the authorities of the county and the cities. And I don't know how that's going to play out over time. One bill that looks like it's going to make its way through there has to do with condemnation. And that will actually be a victory for our business if it does, because if that bill goes like it looks like it's going to, the condemning, this is kind of a change of subject, but the condemning authority will be able to use a realtor's broker opinion of price instead of an appraisal for their first offer to the consumer. So it might be something y'all could all make a little money doing. But anyway, that I don't know if that has anything to do with a reaction to the state trying to take away power, because that would be part of the takeaway of power is really to them is really to have the consumer have a voice in decisions that affect their property rights. And that sounds like that's what that is. And some of it's, you know, the hard part for me is often our legislators do what we're kind of can do, which is we look at just this transaction and we think about what's going on, and we don't get up here and think about how the unintended consequences of all of that stuff. So And sometimes I'm not sure you can think of everything. It could be an unintended
So,
consequence.
so anticipating.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
Forward thinking.
There you go.
Yep. What else? Well, that was quick.
Yeah, Greg.
Question, just on two-step verification.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that for people that use Gmail through Keller Williams affiliation? Is
Well,
that-
you can turn it on in Gmail, whether it's your personal one or it's your business KW one. Now, for us, we would prefer that whichever one you use
For business.
business purposes, you at the very least have that one set up and turned on for two-factor verification.
Yeah, I'm certainly not trying to impose anything upon you on your personal email.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, no.
How-
yeah, that one
how-
could be hacked all you want.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Yeah.
For me, everything is forwarded to my personal email. So whichever email, except the Trek one, which I guess no longer works,
Hey,
anyway.
congratulations.
goes to my personal email. I read it all in one place. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
So, to follow up, having two-step verification on Google isn't enough. You have to have it on the Gmail itself, right?
Well,
That's
it
how you
is.
do- that's
it
how
is
you
the
do
same
it.
thing.
It's the same thing.
So when you go and turn it on in Google for Gmail, it's also going to do the exact same thing when you log into any Google product.
Okay.
And if there's some people in the room that have no idea what we're talking about, if I can do it, you can. I'm just saying that. And we can help you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, to make a note on that, I had a snafu when I moved from Las Vegas, and I had two-step verification set up, and I went and I got a 512 number.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So you make sure if you do set it up that
You put the
You
right
go and
phone
change
number
your phone
in.
number.
change your phone number.
Or
have-
change it in there.
Change it, yeah, change it prior to, or have another way that they, I think there's a couple different ways that you can.
This is what we used to be
do
talking
your,
about.
Two-step authentication. So,
Yeah. Good.
just a note, because that was fun.
Yeah. And it'll prompt you every now and then to update your phone number so
Yeah.
that doesn't
Yeah.
happen as well.
Does that.
Tom.
Subject change.
Yeah.
So on.
We've been doing that.
Recently, they came out with the, hey, pay whatever for flood cert and all this stuff, and it seems like just a way for ABOR to make money and a way to put us at risk.
No, ABOR wouldn't want to make money.
And so what do you know anything about it? Okay.
I wouldn't pay for that because I don't want you to be responsible for the determination.
Right. That's all it seems to me is.
If you take a listing, you say to the seller, do you pay flood insurance? Do you have a loan? Have you checked recently to see if you're in the floodway or a flood zone? You let the seller make that determination. And if a buyer's concerned about it, you let them make that determination.
By contacting an insurance agent.
Or by whatever means that they feel comfortable that they have found the right answer. There are lots of things that you want to do because you want to be a servant of the people. Be careful of your unintended consequences there as well. Oh, it's not in the floodplain. Oh yeah, it's in the blah blah school. So your children will be fine going to whatever school they want. No, those kind of things do not ever need to come out of your mouth. If you're worried about a flood zone or a floodway, here's some resources for you to find out whether this property is in that. If you're worried about a zoning change, here's the city. Here's, don't take that one on unless you're the buyer. Then you can take it on.
Or you're the city.
Or you're the city, yeah.
You know, there's things should you just say unknown then all the time? Or
That's-
you do what the seller
The
says?
seller's filling out the disclosure. They'll be saying whatever they know to be true. But I would ask them. And as you know right now, if we do end up with the amount of rain predicted over the next few days, if it all comes in one afternoon, there are going to be things that flood that have never flooded and may never again flood. And if you've sold a house in the last 2 years with a septic system, it may not work if we get 5 inches of rain in one afternoon. And that may never happen again. Just be prepared for that call.
Or
Yep.
turn off your phone for 2 days. Just kidding.
I was wondering if anybody else had gotten an email from Set Schedule Partnership. Are y'all familiar with it? They say that they work with Keller Williams, and what they do is they send you leads for a certain amount of money,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever.
I'm sure they also send the emails out to Coldwell Banker and all those other people too. That
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you what, in this, Gary Keller and I absolutely believe this the same thing. Never pay for a lead. Now, there are people in the room who do. I'm just telling you, never pay for a lead. If you're not calling your database, if you're not calling the people you know, if you're not going to do open houses and you aren't staying with your touch with your people, shame on you, because that's where your business comes from.
I'm going to add
And-
something to that if you don't mind.
Okay.
If you choose to pay for a lead, make sure you're creating an exit strategy for that.
Yeah,
So
don't sign a
you're
long-term
utilizing
contract.
those people and building a database that you can sustain your business off of later.
Well, and we do have people who have done that.
Yeah.
And be careful of the contract. Don't sign a contract that's long-term if you're going to pay for leads. Sign something short so you can get out of it.
Yeah, this was like a year,
No.
for like, of course, it started off $1,200. Yeah. Now it's got down to $800.
It's a really good deal for them.
Yeah, but, you know, but basically, I think all they're doing is getting county records and seeing how long people's lived in those houses and showing that as a lead.
We can do that through Command for free.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And come to the Command for Dummies class whenever you teach it for me. Do you have a question?
What's the website, Real Geeks?
No idea.
I have a friend that, with Keller Williams in Santa Fe, he's always talking about it.
Real Geeks.
I think it's Real Geeks.
I think that might be my brother-in-law's website. No, I'm just kidding.
It could be a dating website.
It could be.
Or if I don't know what it,
Somebody over here had their hand up.
something come up.
I'm looking it up.
Nobody wants to admit that? It was her? No, who knows? Did you have your hand up?
It's a marketing company.
Yeah, well, he's very successful.
I do have some leads for sale.
Do you?
I like you, Greg.
What's up?
I came across something that's Redfin related. They sent me an email. It says add offer deadline for the listing.
Oh,
that I
yeah.
have. Redfin predicts your listing will likely to sell soon. Give us an offer deadline and we'll email 41 buyers. I'm like, why would I do that if you already said it was going to sell soon? But essentially, they're asking you to give them an offer to list the price, you know, which is the listing price. And I was like, that would be me working on as the seller, not as the listing agent.
Right.
Mhm.
Anyway, I just wanted to know if anybody else came across that.
Oh,
Yeah.
when you
Why
list a
you write
property,
it?
they send that to about 95% of the people who have a property listed.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you have it listed competitively, which
It's in a
blows
good
my mind
area.
also because Redfin also listed a property in Northwest Austin for $140,000 above market value.
It's kind of pleasant.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's kind of pleasant.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Dear Lord.
Okay, I mentioned condemnation, a condemnation issue a while ago. If you have a listing or you're taking a listing where the seller has received anything saying that the state or the department, the transportation, or anybody else is thinking about taking part of their property, to widen a road, to put in a utility line, to whatever it is, they need to disclose that in the listing.
What happens if they don't?
I don't know yet. We're going to find out. Hopefully, we aren't going to get sued.
Where exactly in the seller's disclosure would you put that? Or would you put it in?
You could just attach a piece of paper that has
If
something
they've
from
gotten,
the county.
if they've gotten a letter from
Yeah.
TxDOT or the county or the utility company that says, we're going to be out here surveying, we may blah, 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 just attach that to the seller disclosure. Have the
Yeah,
seller
like
do
there's
that.
one place out in the Wahlberg area where they've been considering doing something for like 20 years. And if you look at the public records about possible improvements, there's things on there that even have an asterisk next to them that kind of say, we hope to do this one day, although it's likely not going to happen, things like that. If you have access to that information, you should still provide that information that lets them know it is a remote possibility. Thank you.
So if you've heard rumors of things, yet your client has not had any communication with anything, you don't have anything substantive.
There's been an article in the newspaper,
Yeah.
that would be public information.
But if there's nothing
It's
that
just
you can find written,
bunch
it's
of-
just people talking of something that might be happening,
It's not, I mean, I probably would say no.
just double check, just Google and Google. And
Do everything you can to find out if it really is happening. If it's a text dot thing, look on their website.
You can just Google their public hearings and meetings and they'll tell you all.
There you go.
There you go. Welcome back.
28 years at TxDOT, I can tell you that.
And what did you do at TxDOT?
Secured rights of way by eminent domain.
There you go. Exactly.
So looking forward to having willing sellers.
So you might be the one that gets,
You were on the dark side. Now you're on the
no, but
the
you
right
might be able to
side.
take advantage of the CMAs for, you know, just think about that.
Huge change.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's moved its way pretty fast around the process.
Anyone else have anything?
I have just a question about that, and everyone here
Which part?
knows the answer. Where would you find the information regarding, I've heard rumours, basically, about a road that's going to be connecting another road, which will affect a division quite dramatically. Where do I find that information, if at all it's true?
But if, go ahead.
Is it city or is it county?
But, yeah, it's city.
Then you'd want to, is it in Georgetown? You'd want to look through the city of Georgetown. And a lot of times you can look up like century plans and things like that, where they have big plans for what they plan to do to expand. Like Liberty Hill has a big one that they have on the City of Liberty Hill website. Georgetown, if you do a little bit of research into public improvements, there's going to be things that are available to you on there.
You can also call planning.
Mm-hmm. Planning and zoning.
Go to the planning
Have
department.
at least a 5-year plan. And so, for instance, I had clients back in my real estate days that were selling, or they're purchasing across on Terra Vista that was looking out across the other side of Grimes.
Before they put the
And
pipeline
they're-
in?
Huh?
Before or after they put the pipeline in?
It was during. They
During,
didn't mind the
there you go.
construction that was going on, but they're like, oh, we love the view. And so I just pulled up the 5-year plan and showed them that soon it was gonna be industrial, commercial, and they're like, never mind. So just make sure that you're looking at those things if they like the view.
Well, if you're on a listing side or potential listing, is this something you can use to utilize the possible?
Give them the resource to find the information so that they can disclose properly. It's not your responsibility to do the disclosing yourself. You just need to give them the resource so they can find the information that they need to make the disclosure happen.
And they need to disclose. Everybody knows, when in doubt. That's the next word, disclose. If you have to ask, should we disclose this? The answer is yes. That's your rule of thumb.
I'm kind of thinking of how you would, for example, farming a neighborhood, and the rumor is a certain farm that I'm farming, is that this is going to affect that actual farm.
Well, if you
Well,
have
then
information
you
about
need
that,
to-
you may want to share that information as part of the farm that you do.
I would go to the planning department of the city and see if you can sit down with somebody and have them show you what the plan is. And if they have a writing or minutes of a meeting or anything where it has been moved forward, you could carry that with you, or you could send that out as a mailer to the neighborhood as a community service. I went to the city, here's what they gave me, blah, 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 and either confirm or deny the rumor floating around.
Or how powerful would it be for you to be able to get that person to come and speak with the community that you live in?
There you go.
Very good information.
Thanks. I got my one for the day. Just like when I was playing golf yesterday, we played best ball, and I happened to have the guy who's the head pro for Berry Creek play on my team because I coach his son in baseball.
So that was best ball every time?
It was his best ball every time except for one. Par 3, we used my ball. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
In 18 holes?
In 18 holes, I got 1. It was awesome.
Because he felt sorry for you.
That's probably what it was. No, he just shanked one off to the right. You can't, if you're going to hit 18 all day, I mean, you got to mess up at least one of those. Even Tiger does, so, except for at the Masters.
The only thing I ever did good is drive the beer cart. Hand out beer to the players.
All right, anything else? All right, thanks, Avis.
Thank you. The
What's
beer
that?
cart? It is.
Yeah. Great service
Thank
to
you.
humanity. I thought you said to humidity for a second. I was like, what? All right, good morning. How are y'all? It's good to see you today. You ready to get started? Oh, that sounded pathetic. You sounded like my son's baseball team the other day when they were behind. I was like, how many runs do we need? They're like, 8. I was like, come on. Come on, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing we got is a minute with Dr. John Maxwell. Speaking of baseball, he's going to talk a little bit about baseball here in a second.
Transition is our word today. Welcome to Minute with Maxwell. Hi, my name is John. Life is full of transition. Somebody said one time that what made change difficult was the transition between where you are and where you're really wanting to go. It's almost like a person that's, I don't know, up on the trapeze, and I've never done it, but I've seen it when they leave one and go to the other. I think it's probably that mid-air transition that probably makes the game a little bit exciting. Well, it does so in life also. Here's what I know. In baseball, you can't get to second base until you take your foot off of first base. There's a transition. There's a period of time where, quote, you're not safe, but you take the risk or the transition so you can improve your life. And that's the reason it's such an important word on Minute with Maxwell. Here's the question for you today. What transition do you need to make in your life to get from first to second base? Whatever it is, it's not safe, but it is rewarding. Thanks for being with us today on Minute with Maxwell.
So I wanted you to think about that because we're in times right now where we've been used to doing things one way for such a long time, right? And now I'm having this conversation with everyone consistently about utilizing other resources to maintain and develop and grow our business onto that next level. Thank you, Tom, for getting that. And we're at that place where we're having to step off of first base and start to go out a little bit to second base. You want to lead off a little bit when you're on first base so that as soon as that ball's hit, if it's on the ground, you can just take off running right to second base, right? It's that opportunity to be a little bit closer to where you're going. I'm asking you to join me in leading off and anticipating that home run because we're able to just then take off and go further and faster than everyone. I guess a home run's a bad example because you don't really have to run that fast. A long single, exactly. We're hitting it all the way out to right field up against the fence. And that's where we're at right now. We've got a huge opportunity to take advantage of the technology that we have, and I'm going to show you some of that technology here this morning. And I wanted to share that with what John shared with us. How many of you guys had the opportunity to go to Celebration this last week and hear John speak? What did you think, Nancy?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
He does feel like your friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. I've been listening to him for years now.
Exactly. He's an incredible gentleman, and his ability to communicate with people is insane. If you've never listened to any of his books or read any of his books, one of the first ones I'd start with is a book called Intentional Living. I think it's probably the best book he's ever written, although he always says the book that he's writing right now is the best book he's ever written. Obviously, he's a smart guy, so I'm not going to disagree with him in person, but I will disagree with him here because he's not here. Intentional Living. take a look at that book. All right, so let's go on to gratitude. There's somebody that I'd like to give gratitude to who's not here again this morning because she's out working. Judy Dawson. I want to give her gratitude because she came to me, or she came to us while we were still at our other office over there, and she had been a team leader, she'd been a team leader with Keller Williams, and she'd also been a productivity coach with Keller Williams, and she took the time to share with me some different things that they had done in their market center up in Plano. And Plano is a huge market center. They do, they've done over $1 billion in volume, like 3 years in a row now, and they've just done an incredible job. So I wanted to thank her for sharing some of the things that they did in their market with me to help us all be better. So when you see Judy, thank her for that because she shared a lot of really awesome things with me. And then the next thing I want to share with you is a terrible real estate agent. Please don't be like this guy. What's that?
My name is Gary Schlitz, and I am a real estate entrepreneur, agent, realtor. Got attracted to the game because there's a lot of money in it. I mean, especially right now, there's a lot of things being sold, and not a lot of people doing it. So I figured I'd get right in on there. Marketing, big part of the game. Major player situation. You gotta know how to market yourself. And I like to think that there's the real estate way, and there's the Gary Schlitz way. A quarter? Big business here. Yeah, I'm having a little trouble with my mobile. Don't try calling me, because my receptionist, god damn it, is on maternity leave. Again. Okay, don't cancel, because, okay. I'm gonna call you. Okay. Alright. See you later. Bye. I don't know if you've ever heard of whisper marketing. I go around different high traffic areas and I just walk around whispering my name. That generates a lot of hits every once in a while. And when I get a phone, that's going to work out a lot. Yeah. As is right now, but you got some tools. Real estate game is pretty important that you act fast. You're dealing with a bunch of Supermans out there, but you gotta be the Flash. Okay, folks. Looks like this is the place. Over here. Could have sworn it was a house. Mortgages are a concern. And I have a couple people that I work with on a regular basis that will do independent mortgage loans, much like a bank, but I've known them for years and I trust them. So if you want to go with something like that, then you can talk to me and we can arrange that. Not a problem at all. You're going to want to look up and count off 27. Or maybe it's easier to count down 8 from the top. And it's just right there. Follow my finger line, follow my eye line. Right there. And a real nice little piece. So if you want to go. Well, little known fact, every realtor has access to a lockbox, which possesses keys to the house or apartment. And well, I happen to know for a fact that this family is out of town for a couple of days. Works out pretty good for me. Hello? As far as things go, pretty happy with how things are. It's an uphill battle, but things are coming along quite nicely. I mean, doing pretty damn well.
Yeah, so don't be that guy. All right, and then one of the things that I wanted to add for this week was, sorry your house didn't sell. Really, I am, but maybe spending $25,000 to lower the ceilings and cover the hardwood floors wasn't a good idea. All right, and then we've got a couple of awards that we want to give out this morning. So we found a way to go back to our $1 million bills. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we had 15 people in our office last month that did over $1 million in closed volume in the month of April. That is the most we've ever had in one month. So let's give it up for everyone right now. So we had Laura, and she closed $1,464,500 last month. Diane Waters in the Austin Metro team, $13,621,695 in April. Nancy Moore and her team, $1,339,900 last month. Way to go. Quentin Laughlin and his team closed $1,142,310 last month. Let's give it up for them. Susie Goal closed Susie Goal and her team closed $1,042,725 last month. Jessica Burks and her team closed $3,821,625 last month. Nick Himes closed $1,556,295 last month. Megan Turnipseed and her team $1,563,000 last month. Way to go, Megan. Amy Manis and her team $1,156,000 last month. Way to go, Amy. The Russ Phillips team $6,688,751 last month. The John Duke team, $2,279,137 last month. Carmen Colon and her team, $3,011,900. Rita Snyder and her team, $1,934,445. You want to get that to Rita? Kathy Armstrong and her team, the Madrina home team, $1,080,000 last month. So that's you to hold. And then Kim Sanders and her team closed $1,632,820 last month. There we go. So we've got some pretty big, powerful stuff happening in the Market Center. And the next thing that we're going to go into is we're going to do a live demo of some command stuff that we've got available to you right now. So if you want to take out your laptop, if you have it, you can. If you don't have your laptop, that's totally fine. This is recorded, so you can go back and watch it anytime you want to. Let's see here, training. We're going to talk about how to create a smart plan for neighborhood snaps. And before we do that, I wanted to thank Crystal for putting this together. We're going to do a tech term of the week is what we're going to do. As soon as it loads here. It may take a minute. There we go. All right, so the first one that we're going to talk about is the command dashboard. This is what it looks like. It's a little blurry up there, but we'll get to it in a minute. The command dashboard, when we say that, this is the screen that we're referring to right here. So when we say go to your command dashboard or, oh, that's on your command dashboard, this is available. Is there supposed to be a video that's connected to this?
It plays into it.
It does?
It's actually here. Yep.
Oh, there we go. Nope. I can't get the video to play. I'll send the video out to y'all. How's that? But this right here is what we're talking about with the command dashboard. This is going to be the home screen for every single action that you're going to take in command. And the best way to think about it is when you go to agent.kw.com.
I think it's because you haven't. You're playing off the Google Docs.
That's what it is. I didn't download it.
Tom is my hero, 1, 2, 3.
That's, how did you know? Okay, well, they're probably working on it right now. So we'll give it a minute and we'll talk about something else while they're working on that. All right, so I told you what we were going to be working on as a market center, and you've seen some of the things that I posted about June 1st, right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, 3 of you have seen what I was talking about for June 1st. All right, well,
Announcement's coming.
4. What's that?
A big announcement.
A big announcement's coming. I'm going to tell you what that announcement is before everyone else finds out. So, I told you we were working, yeah?
And
What?
Facebook.
And yeah, before everyone else on Facebook finds out. So, we're working on putting our instant offer program together so that we can be competitive against companies like Opendoor, because they, one of the head people who does all kinds of talks about what's going on in real estate and different strategies that companies are using, came out and said that Opendoor's biggest fear is 160,000 agents who have access to sit at a kitchen table and say, oh yeah, we do that too. So Opendoor, we know what they do. They will give you an instant offer on your home. Well, when they say instant, their instant offer is 24 to 48 hours before you actually get the offer in your inbox. And then you can choose if you want to go with their offer or if you want to just completely disregard it. So we're working on the exact same thing as well. Here's what ours is going to be called, TexanOffers.com. This is going to be a resource that you can utilize in your listing presentations if you have somebody who's on the fence and deciding whether or not they want to go and use something like Opendoor or Zillow Instant Offers isn't quite here to the Austin area yet, but they are working in Phoenix and they're working in Dallas, which happens to be where Keller Williams International is launching their Keller Offers platform. So we'll have this available to you on June 1st. There are going to be a couple of caveats. In order to use it, you're going to need to come to a listing presentation class with me, where I teach you the best listing presentation in order to make sure that I don't have to buy a ton of homes. So the intention behind this is that you're going to be in a listing presentation with people who are considering doing this, and we want to show them that at the end of the day, it makes way more sense for them to do what? To list their house as opposed to sell it instantly. They're going to net more money by selling their house the traditional way in real estate, as opposed to selling it instantly to somebody who's willing to pay cash for it. Yes, it may save them a little bit of time, but what we've figured out is, on average, it's going to be $10,000 to $15,000 more that they're going to put in their pocket by selling it the traditional way in real estate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions about that? No? Yeah, Mike.
Will our service also go really low? I mean, what, part of Opendoor is that they're trying to go way below what market value is. So how does our service compare with that?
We're not going to go as low as what Opendoor is doing, but we are going to make it competitive so that it still makes way more sense to list their house as opposed to sell it instantly. I'd like to be able to say that I can afford every single home in the entire world if everyone wanted to sell their house. That's not the reality of the situation, though. I've got a good amount of investors and a good amount of capital available for us to do this. And my intention is that we help you to get more listings through this. There's the gentleman who did this in Florida. He picked up 75 listings and bought 2 homes. Those 2 homes that he bought for 15% below the market. He turned around and sold those, made a nice profit off of it. And at the end of the day, his whole business model thrived on the fact that he was able to pick up more listings by sitting across the table from people who were considering this. Now, are there going to be some people out there who the instant offer solution makes more sense for? Yeah, there are going to be people out there. At the end of the day, though, for me, do I want to make $15,000 more, or is $15,000 worth the convenience of not having to show my house? In the markets that we're going to do this in, I mean, we're going to focus on the $200,000 to $350,000 price range. That's going to be a market where it's going to usually make way more sense for them to list their home. we're not going to do this on $400,000 and up homes. It's not going to make sense financially for us to do it. It's not going to make sense financially for the homeowner to do it either. Mike?
Is this based out of our market center, or is this?
It is a completely separate entity that happens to be owned by people who are in this market center.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does the agent fit into the process? Is it something that we would just turn over to that entity?
No. So let's say, Mike, let's say you have somebody that comes up to you and says, hey, Mike, I'm considering selling my house. And I've also been looking into this Open Door thing, and I realize that they're willing to buy my house on the spot. And I kind of like that idea. You can say, oh, we actually do that too. When's the best time for me to come over? I'll bring an offer for you, and if you choose to go with that offer, great. If you choose to list your house, that's great too. I'd like for you to be able to compare them directly so that you can see which one makes the most financial sense for you. And 99% of the time, they're going to choose to list their house because they're not willing to give up 10 to 15%. Now, Open Door is going to offer them, it's like 8 to 9% below what the market value is, and then below what their market value is. And keep in mind that their market value on average is 3 to 5% below what the actual market value of the home is, because they're coming up with their comps for them, and they're not actually turning any of the comps over to you. And then it specifically says on their offers that this is before any inspection requests or any inspections have been done and any repair requests have been made. And then it says on there these requests are usually between $3,500 and $5,600 per home. So if you calculate that out, most people who go with an Open Door offer are usually going with an offer that's about 15% below the market value.
One final question, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
If, like, we have a farm area, this isn't necessarily something we want to advertise in the farm because we want to try to get the actual listing. It's more of a back pocket
Absolutely.
scenario. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, Open Door is sending to everyone, so.
Now, if you're in a neighborhood that's being extremely competitive or that's being slammed by Open Door, you may want to offer this as a solution to your farm.
Put a side-by-side scenario.
Yeah, yeah. Because at the end of the day, we want you to pick up more listings. So yeah, it might make sense to say, hey, get on social media for your neighborhood. I know that you've been hit up by Open Door. Open Door is a national company. They're in business to make money for themselves. We do have a local partner here that is only specific to the Williamson County area. Williamson, we're going to open this up to Williamson County, Bell County, and Travis County is where we're going to do this. And they're local, so if we have questions, we can call them directly and we know exactly who we're dealing with. Yeah. No, you're good. Do you have any other questions? All right, does anyone else have any questions about this? Yeah, Greg.
Yep. I assume we're going to prepare some marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah.
we can share. Okay.
We'll probably have about $10,000 in advertising that we do on our own as the group of investors for this in this area here, so that we push it out and make sure that people realize that there's something out there that's an option for them, because Open Door is doing that like crazy. I promise you, if you were to hop on Facebook right now and scroll through your news feed, at some point in time during the day today, you're going to see an Open Door ad, and it's usually going to show this person who's got a really, really happy face because they just sold their house the Open Door way, and then like this angry face because they sold it the traditional way. But in actuality, after the transaction's over and they realize how much money they lost, that picture's reversed. So yeah.
But there will be some marketing collateral for the agents.
Absolutely. I'm in my R&D zone right now. Not research and develop, rip off and duplicate. So I mean, most of the stuff that you're going to see is going to look exactly like what the Open Door stuff looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a date for the training session?
It will probably be the third, not the third week of the month, because that's next week. The fourth week of the month. We may do it after our team meeting on the not next week, the following week.
You guys will be using a standard 1-to-4 contract.
The offer itself will not be presented on the 1-to-4 family contract. However, if they decide that they want to go on it, it's going to be a 1-to-4 family contract.
So
There will be an option period, absolutely. Yeah, the thing that's going to be so different about this is Open Door, they can literally back out of the contract all the way up until the day of closing. With us, if we sign a contract with a person to buy their home, we're going to ask for a 7 to 10 day option period. After that option period is over, we are not backing out of the contract. We can't back out of the contract. It's a legally binding contract for us. That's what the difference between Open Door and us is they can back out at any time they want to. On closing day, if they just decide, hey, you know, oh crap, we ran out of money the other day, we're not going to be able to buy your house, their contract is in favor of them, not in favor of you. Yes?
I'm having a hard time understanding this. So we're going to offer to buy people's houses?
We're going to give them the opportunity to sell their house instantly. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard of
Where's the money come from to buy the house?
a group of investors that I put together.
Oh, you're gonna have a group of investors? Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Good news, you're buying a house.
Exactly. Congratulations, Paula. You're our investor. Just kidding. No, we put it together this way. I mean, Christopher Waters has been doing this in the reverse for so long here in Austin, where he'll say, hey, if we don't sell your house, we'll buy it. And oh, by the way, last year we didn't have to buy any homes because we sold them so fast. That's not the truth. The truth is that most people aren't willing to sell their house for 65% below market value, which is what you signed stating that if they're going to buy your house, they're going to buy it for 65% of market value. So, how many of you guys think that's a good investment? Exactly. Good investment for the company, not a good investment for the consumer, or a good decision for the consumer. Yeah, so that's why they've never had to buy any houses. They didn't have to buy any houses last year because nobody's willing to do that, right? All right, so this is just the exact opposite of that. It's on the front end. We want to give you the opportunity to go out there and be competitive with companies who are working to disrupt our market. Open Door, Zillow Instant Offers, Purple Bricks was one of them, but I think they're going to go away pretty quickly. Their CEO stepped down yesterday and their stocks are plummeting. And those are other things you really need to pay attention to. If you haven't ever paid attention to the stock market with real estate companies, now is the best time for you to do that. If you have an iPhone, all you have to do is just go to the stock market app that's on there. I think it's called Market, and then it will pull up stocks right here. And it's going to show you. Like, I posted something the other day about Realogy companies. If you have friends who are with any Realogy company, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA Colonial, Better Homes and Gardens, Sotheby's, you need to be in conversations with those people. Their stock has fallen 30% since the beginning of the first quarter. Last year in June, they were trading at over $24 a share. Today, as of this morning, they're already down another 40 cents. They're now at $8.60 a share. What happened? Their CEO of their company came out and said, we don't care about technology and we're not going to do anything to change the industry or to make it easier for our people. That's what happened. They literally said that, yes. RLGY, I think is what it is.
RLGY.
Yeah, it's RLGY. But they're the largest publicly traded company in real estate because they have such a big grasp of agents from so many different companies. Their challenge has always been that they've got so many different companies with so many different names and none of their data is connected, so they don't have the ability. I mean, you were at the thing where Gary talked about it the other day. They have all of these different systems and none of them communicate with one another. If they had the ability for every single one of them to communicate, their stock wouldn't be at $8.60 today, it'd be at $80.60 today. But they've come out and said, we're not really focused on technology. And the CEO of Coldwell Banker, you remember when they came out with their advertising and then how they changed what the new Coldwell Banker logo is going to look like? And it kind of looks like the Russian flag, it's just blue. Their CEO said, look, our advertising is not up for negotiation. It is what it is. You're going to have to deal with it. And I mean, we're a company that we care about what you have to say. So if we had 50% of our population saying we hate what you're doing, we would change the direction that we're going in. People out there are hungry for a change, and they want it to be done in the right way. So pay attention to those things, because our market is changing really, really quickly. For one company who was pretty much at the top of its game to lose 30% of their stock in the first quarter of a year, it's not good. As a matter of fact, if Realogy wanted to sell themselves, they'd have to sell themselves 2 times right now just to pay off the amount of debt that they're in. So, yes.
The
Yeah, anyone.
Leadership was down at International yesterday, and at the end, they reported, Gary, speaking of money, Gary has spent $200 million of his own money, not in debt, not go get a loan, cash. He owns it, $200 million on what's up there on the screen. And they are listening to us to make this the best platform that you can use to grow your business.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And I was in a class at,
I mean, he doesn't care, it's about you.
Yeah, he's publicly said that he would spend every single dollar that he has to protect our industry.
I was in a meeting at Family Reunion, which was talking about the iBuyer program and all that, and his personal financial consultant was on the at the board, whatever. He was there on stage, and he said, look, he would rather be investing in movie theaters and this and that, but he sees it as a responsibility to us and to the industry as a whole to do all this stuff. And one of the things, if the open door type program were to work, it would sufficiently effectively kill the economy of the United States, because so much.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If Open Door were to go out there and be able to take the market share in every single major market in the entire country, it would kill our economy literally overnight, because that is 15% less of the value of a home that people would be getting for their houses. Our housing market would go in the tank faster than it ever did, even in 2007 through 2009. It would crash our entire economy. That's why we're creating what we're creating for our office, because I'm not going to stand here and take it. I've always been taught, you know what, if they're going to take one of ours, we go take 4 of theirs. And if they're going to pick up one listing in Georgetown because somebody was willing to go and lose money on their house for convenience, that just means that they weren't educated and they didn't have somebody there who was willing to represent their best interests. Now, when you go into these listing presentations and you're going to present the instant offer, you're also going to present your traditional real estate way. And the conversation is going to be this, you know, this is an opportunity we have for you. And while we're willing to do this, or while our investors are willing to do this, I care about you too much to let you lose that much money. We can still price your home competitively to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish, and you will net this much more money. And you'll present a net sheet for the instant offer, and you'll present a net sheet for the traditional real estate sale. Which one do you think is going to win? Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Or what Gary Keller would say, Gary Keller would say, look, that was an IQ test. Which one do you want to choose here? Okay, you want to go with the instant offer? I understand you've got some things going on, and the instant offer is going to be a great way for us to be able to go and take more market share. And for, like, the way that we're doing this is, if you're in a situation where you have people who want to go with the instant offer opportunity and you have money that you'd like to invest into that property as well, we'll open that up to you. As a board of, with the board of directors that we're forming for this LLC, it has the opportunity for other people to come in and be investors in certain properties. And the way that it'll work is, if we buy a house for 10% below the market value and we close on that house, when it goes back, first of all, if you were the agent, it's going to be your listing. And second of all, when it closes, let's say there was a $200,000 house. I invested $100,000. Chris invested $25,000, and Chris invested $50,000, and Stephanie invested $50,000. those proceeds are going to be split proportionately to the investment that was made. So I'd get 50% of the proceeds, Chris would get 25%, and Stephanie would get 25%. Make sense? All right, so that's what we're doing. That's how we're doing it. And the reason why we're doing it is so that you have that extra value proposition to go out there and share that with the consumers who truly don't know what Opendoor is doing to them. Any other questions? All right, let's go into Command. All right, so we're going to talk about how to create those smart plans around neighborhoods. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on your contacts here. If you don't have contacts in there, it's easy. All you have to do is click the Add a Contact button here, and we'll go from there. So for right now, let's pull up Chris LaForge here. Sweet, Chris. All right, Chris, what is your address?
6004.
6004.
Tonkawa Trail.
Tonkawa Trail. Man, look, it pulled up that quick. All right, so y'all saw what I did there? All right, so let me back up just a little bit. So if you know you've already got a command, if you've already got a contact inside of Command here, and you just want to put them on the monthly neighborhood smart plan, all you have to do is just type in their name, like I did here, so LaForge, and then we'll go down and we'll click on Chris's name here, and then it's going to pull up and show the details about Chris right here. So then, since we don't have his address on here, hey, David, what's going on? Man, you're dressed awfully nice today. I like it. Thanks, buddy. All right, so now we've got his contact information pulled up here. Chris, what's your preferred method of contact?
Text.
Text? Okay, great. And what's your phone number, Chris?
512-587-5274.
All right.
For anybody but Tom.
For anybody but Tom. And then, okay, perfect. In that case, it's 512-911, right? No, I'm just kidding. Believe it or not, I gave that to somebody one time as a joke in high school. Like, hey, what's your number? 626-911. And they called it. Didn't work out so well. All right, and then it's going to say captured, connected, and qualified. Now, these are different terms that mean different things to so many different people based upon CRMs that you may have used in the past. And what I want you to think about is the word captured here. Basically, you've done something to gather contact information, okay? So maybe you've put out a landing page, or maybe you've put out a sign-in book at an open house, or maybe you've gone through the tax record and you've just gathered contact information, or maybe you bought a list off of blanking on the name, Cole Realty Resource. Have you guys ever used that before? Yeah, so Cole Realty Resource, you can buy a list of phone numbers based upon a neighborhood. So right here, you've just captured information, and that's all you've done. All you have is just a list of names or the contact information in general. Connected, I want you to think about it like this. Chris, you and I have had a conversation before. It was a great conversation. We know each other. I can call you Amet now because we have somewhat of a relationship. Now, qualified is that third one here. Qualified is this. Hey, Chris, you said you wanted to sell your house in the next 3 months, right? Perfect. All right. Based upon the numbers and things like that, you're in a position where you have some equity in your home and you'd be able to sell your house, right? Okay, perfect. Chris is qualified now. Now, on the buyer side of things, Chris has spoken with a lender. Lender's told him, hey, you're in good shape. If you do this, 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 and this, you're going to be able to buy your house in the next 3. You're going to be able to buy a house in the next 3 months. All right. So Chris and I have had that conversation as a buyer. Now we'd put him into the qualified stage. So you'll just click the qualified button here, and that's what those 3 different things mean. Captured, you got their information. Connected, they know who you are, you know who they are. Qualified, you've had a substantial conversation and you know what their timeline is. Does that make sense for those 3? Great. All right, and then lead source, you can add multiple lead sources in here. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're not going to worry about tags. And your address was what again, Chris? 6074? 6004? Tonkawa Trail. All right, and your birthday?
September 17th.
Okay. And if he wanted to give me the year, he could. If he doesn't want to give me the year, he doesn't have to. We all know he's barely 18, so it's okay. All right, and then we're going to go down here. We're going to click Save. Okay, so for this one right here, it didn't automatically add his neighborhood. Many of them, it is adding the neighborhood for you directly. So since it doesn't have his neighborhood here, we're going to just click this button right here, Add Neighborhood. And then I like to do it this way by clicking the View Map button. So if we click View Map, we're going to be able to search for the location 6004 Tonkawa Trail, and then we're just going to zoom in. Is this you right here?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so it's calling it Berry Creek. Is that an accurate description or no?
No.
Okay, so
It is very clear, though.
It's not. It's,
how many homes are in your neighborhood?
Be on the right side of that road, and that looks like it's right on.
Was this right?
no, that's the right location, it's just not
Wrong
really
name.
Berry Creek.
Okay.
And that includes parts of Berry Creek that are attached to my neighborhood.
Yeah. So Serenata would probably make sense to include too? Not really? All right, I chose the worst possible example in this room, guys.
Right.
But here's what we're going to do. We're going to say that it came up correctly and that Chris wasn't an anomaly and that it was perfect. Now, in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a little pencil button over here, and you'll be able to just draw around where Chris's actual neighborhood would be defined. But for right now, we're going to make it simple, and we're going to say that it worked out perfectly.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and click Save. And now it's going to show that the primary neighborhood is Berry Creek. There's another neighborhood here for Serenata. And then what we can do is we can click this button right here. It says Get Neighborhood Snap URL. And as soon as we copy that, copy, we can open another tab up here. It is a little bit slow this morning.
I think the whole system's gonna look
Can you message Chris? Thank you. Chris is our IT guy for the internet. Okay, there we go. All right, so now it's going to pull this up. Oh, oops, something went wrong. Perfect. Let's try it again. There we go. Now it came up right. It was just because it was so darn slow. All right, so here we go. Now we've got a page that's customized based upon the information that Chris is going to be concerned about. So it's got Serenata right there or Berry Creek. You can click on whichever one you want, and it's going to give you the information about it. On top of that, it's also going to pull it up here and show you active homes that are available in those neighborhoods right now. Yeah?
Just one thing I want to point out is that it says average list price. That does not take into account whether it's a single story or two-story.
It does not.
So just know that when you share that with whomever.
Correct. Yeah, because the average list price for all of Berry Creek is $458,000. If we were to separate those two out, it would make a difference. And then if we go to Serenata here, it's going to show us the average list price of Serenata is $392,000. And the average days on market there is 60.67. Average sold price is $330,000. And it still does not take into account one story versus two story. I do believe that we'll have that ability in the future.
I asked, and that's not anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not going to be soon, but
So the best part of this is
Yeah.
if you have somebody that you know is moving to another state or another city,
Mhm.
you can do a snap of that state or city, the city within the state. Let's
Yeah.
say they're moving to, who knows, Montana, Big Sky, right? You
Big
put
Sky,
that in
Montana.
there. It's pretty if you've
yeah,
ever
it's,
been there. It's really
it's
pretty.
a huge ski town too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. There's some cute little cabins over there, right? So let's say they're buying or looking, considering they're skiers and they might be considering a second home.
Yeah.
you can set snaps up in other places and so they can see information.
Yeah, so if you have a big database in another state, maybe you've only lived here for a little while. If you have a big database in New Mexico, you could add all of these people here to Smart Plans, and then every single month it's going to send them information about the neighborhood that they live in, and it's going to send them all of the listings that are available in the neighborhoods that they live in, and it's going to be connected to you.
You know, I'm a member of the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing,
Mhm.
and I've got tons of contacts in there.
Yeah.
Can I use that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So now that we've got the neighborhood assigned, to create a Smart Plan for this person, it's super easy. There's this button right here that says Add to Smart Plan. And then there's this little thing over here that has the little person with the plus. We can just click that. Done. Chris is going to get an email from me every single month now with yeah, perfect. Yeah, you can return the favor. You can add me to yours too. But every single month, Chris is going to get an email from me now with his neighborhood, the listing information about his neighborhood, what the average days on market are, what the average prices, average sold prices, and then it's going to show him other homes that are available in that area too. Now, let's say that Chris is like, man, these homes in my neighborhood suck. I want to see some different ones. All he has to do is click the search button right here on the top of that custom page that's specific to him. What's important about this is we're creating a Netflix experience for each individual person with information that they care about. Right now, if you were to go to Redfin or you were to go to Zillow, what you see when you go to that front page is the same thing every other person sees. Right here, this is what Chris sees. This is specific to Chris. So
draw option
in this one here, yeah. So right here, if we wanted to go and look at, what's that?
You want Sun City.
You want Sun City? Chris, you're a little.
I'm good, Sun City.
All right, so if we wanted to, we can draw around this area here. I made a really big circle, but now it's going to pull up the homes that are available in that area right there. It's going to pull up information over here about those homes. Obviously, I created a really, really large radius. So it goes all the way from 2.5 million to 239,000. And that 2.5 million is acreage out by the airport.
Could you see if they unsubscribe?
Unsubscribe? If they do unsubscribe from it, it will notify you in your command dashboard. So now that Chris has done, now that we've added Chris and gone through that process here, when we refresh this screen over on the side here, it's now going to show me, because I copied that link that's specific to Chris, it's going to show me that he's viewed the neighborhood snap landing page, and then he's done an additional search inside of his own thing there in Serenata, and then anytime he does any additional searches on that page, it's going to log that. It's going to log what he was looking for. It's going to log the criteria that he was putting there. If he wanted to do detailed information, it would be specific for those things there.
And if I view properties on there, would you notify me?
Yep. Yeah, if you start to view properties on that page, it's going to log all of that stuff. Yeah, Mike.
Is this a once a month email?
This one right now is once a month.
Okay. So
yeah.
It's not like setting up someone on MLS where they get neighborhood.
No, but if we were to go into,
It's like a lighter touch than that.
Yeah.
For people like that aren't active.
Just want to see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they talk about it is the voyeur experience. So people go to Zillow, like 170 million people a day go to Zillow.com. Are 170 million people buying homes every single day? No, they're not. How many homes sell in the United States every single year? It's actually about 6 million homes every single year in the United States sell. So there's a huge difference in the data that's going out. People are going to look at homes. They're looking at listings, thinking, hey, you know, that's something that I might want to do in my house. We want to create a custom experience for them like that. That's information that really pertains to them. That way, every time they log into their site, it's specific to them. It's going to learn them. It's going to learn what they do. If they're searching a neighborhood specifically, guess what's going to happen? Up on the top of that page, it's going to start to add those neighborhoods that they're looking in there for them as well. Does that make sense? All right. So then I'm glad Kristen said it. We're going to get to a couple of other things here in a minute. But let's say that you know somebody in another area. So I'm going to go ahead and say, my hometown. So Chad Lowry. Personal email. All right, and then I'm going to use his parents' address because I don't know where he actually lives anymore. West Covina.
Good opportunity to give him a call and find out.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to need his updated address because they're having a baby soon. I'm going to want to send him something, right? All right, so now I've added Chad to my database twice because he was already in there. Of course, the one that I pulled up the first time is not the right one. And this one is. All right, so we're going to edit Chad. We're going to go down here to, actually, nope, we don't need to do that. We're going to go over here to add neighborhoods. Search for neighborhood view map. 1314 East Workman.
You put their address
in? Mm-hmm.
That's zooming in automatically?
I'm zooming in to make the data make sense. So there's the neighborhood that they live in. It's called Lakesview. I'm going to click on Get Neighborhood Snap URL, copy it.
What are you copying it to?
Where'd you go after you
Just
clicked on the tab?
I'm just opening another tab and then pasting it in.
So we can see it?
Yeah, so you can see it.
But that's basically for us to look at, it's not
Yeah.
actually how it's sent.
You want to verify that the information is correct before you send it.
Yeah, verify the information's correct before you send it out. So now, I am not a member of the SoCal MLS, okay? And before, if you wanted to send out properties, you need to be a member of the MLS, right? Guess what? There are properties that are for sale now on the bottom of here, and those people are now connected to me so that if I wanted to advertise or send people in other states and other places information about their neighborhoods, I can do that now and get referrals off of it, because when we purchased that company called Smarter Agent, we also purchased IDX feeds to every single MLS in the United States of America. So now you have instant data for every single MLS in the country. So these listings right here are actual listings in West Covina, California. Whoever this listing agent is, we got to have a conversation with them because they need to get that yard fixed. And over here, I don't know if I left all the dolls out, but you know, it is what it is.
They don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back into the other tab to actually set it up to send.
Yep, and then over here, I would just go back to the contacts. I'd click Add to Smart Plan, click plus, done. Now Chad is going to get a smart plan from me every single month, and I promise you, he's going to call me the first time he gets it and say, why are you sending me this? Because, I mean, he's in California.
What's your address?
Exactly, exactly. Exactly, yeah,
But if you
Danny.
want to send it just the one time, the copied URL at
Yep.
the bottom of that page, send it once.
Yeah, so they were telling us in a lab that I was in the other day, there are some people out there who are figuring out who their top 25 people in their database are, and then they're going to GoDaddy and purchasing domain names based upon those top 25 people in their database, because you can go buy domain names for like between 99 cents and $8 depending on what it is. So maybe it's chrislaforge.com. If I go and buy chrislaforge.com, I can just forward that neighborhood snap to that domain, and then every single month or every time you're interested in finding out something about real estate in your area, you yourself can go to chrislaforge.com. Did you just go, mind blown? Yeah. 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 There are so many limitless possibilities with this new technology. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions about this stuff? Yeah, Greg.
How does this interact with, or with, well, with eEdge, or does eEdge go
eEdge is going to go away. This is not going to interact with eEdge right now unless you have the two-way data sync turned on. Then it's going to update in both places, but it's completely separate from eEdge.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as far as this is the contact database, you don't need to duplicate the eEdge stuff.
Yeah.
You can transfer.
You can transfer it from eEdge.
to command.
Yeah.
And so trainings are still on Monday mornings?
Monday morning, every single Monday morning from 9:30 to 10:30, with the exception of yesterday because I was gone. But next week I'll be here. The following week I'll be here. If I'm not going to be here, you'll know. You'll know that I won't be here. If we went too fast for you, Mondays are an excellent time to come and say, hey, can you show me that again that we went over at the team meeting? And then if you have other questions, hey, I saw something online the other day, someone did this, how do we do that? We will jump in to what it is that you want to focus on. Yeah.
And another thing that I learned yesterday, before you come Mondays, have your logins.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, have your logins, come see me first so you can be prepared. And everybody else is there to learn as well.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, now we're going to go through the training and stuff that we've got going on in the Market Center really, really quick. And then we're going to bring our sponsor in. We won't have time to get to listings today. Was this valuable?
Yes.
Okay, good. Perfect. All right, Command Central every Monday at 9:30. Round robin scripts, Thursdays at noon.
You did it right.
I did it right. Bill Jones is going to be coming and joining us from 10:30 to, not 10, it's 10:30 to noon. That's going to be on June 4th. He's going to talk to us. What's that?
You had to get it wrong somewhere.
Had to get it wrong somewhere. He's going to come and talk to us about HOAs, and he's like the #1 expert on HOAs in the state of Texas. So it's going to be a great class. If you have HOA questions, come prepared to ask them.
Outside agents?
You can bring anyone you want to that class, absolutely. Legal 102 is going to be on May 24th. And then coaching is going to start this week. I don't know why I put May 8th, but...
No, that's okay. It's this one.
Oh, wait, no, that is tomorrow, May 8th, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow from 2 to 3, it's going to be a Zoom call, which means you can sit at home or wherever you're at. Hopefully you're not at home. You might be in the office, or you might be at home. Wherever you're at, you can log on. It'll be a group coaching situation. I have about 76 people that are going to get an email from me. If you don't get the email and you want to be involved in this, it's for all levels. No judgment. Just come on over and just let me know. Text me if you want to be on the email.
Great.
What's the, is there a specific topic or?
There's going to be a different topic every week. Tomorrow it's just going to be an introduction. We're going to talk about things that you guys are, experiencing in your business.
And I would imagine tomorrow you're probably going to ask them about some of the topics they'd like to see, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're going to send links out?
Yes. Link will go out today before 12:30.
Perfect.
You can listen in our car too, right?
You can listen in your car on your cell phone.
Yeah, just don't be too interactive.
Don't be driving.
Yeah.
No, people won't be able to see you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you can put it on just listen?
You can put it on just listen if you want to. If you're going to drive through the drive-through, mute yourself. Yeah. Mark.
Okay, this technology, the way I've got it figured, or kind of got it figured, or don't have it figured,
Mm-hmm.
is there's about 9 different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
So, which way do you know what to, like, 2 weeks ago we went over how to do a CMA off of Austin's class, right? Now we got Command.
That's completely different. It's going to be completely
Can't do a
different.
CMA off of it.
You can't do a CMA off of Command because the data that's in the MLS is going to be proprietary to the MLS that you're a part of. So you're going to need to do that information out of the MLS you belong to.
That CMA.
Correct, out of the Austin MLS. Correct.
So this Command is basically just a track.
It's
not
a
to help you.
database management system. It is your tool. It is, and it's also free. It's the one place that you can go to run your business.
Just as what I wanted to see now.
CMA, you're going to use that
You're
other.
gonna have access to
Yeah.
MLS so you
Yeah.
can do your market analysis. Yep.
Yeah. Think about it like I don't know where I was going to go with this, but
there's, like I said, there's 900 different ways, and which way do you choose?
the way that you're going to do it, the way that makes the most sense for you. Yeah. All right. Tomorrow in here from 10 to 11. What do I do now? Will, probate, and guardianship. That's a $10 class. You get an hour of continuing education for it. And then also tomorrow, who, what, when, and where of marital property and divorce. That's going to be from 11:15 to 12:15 tomorrow. Also $10, another hour of credit. Quantum Leap, June 6th from 9 to 5. We'll have more information about those classes. Kristen's going to be teaching a class, contracts class from 9:30 to 2:30 on the 10th. What contract are we covering?
It's 1 to 4, the condo, as well as all the addendums that go with it.
Perfect.
When's that?
That's going to be on Friday from 9:30 to 2:30. And then if you have any young teens from starting in high school all the way up through, I'd say like 24 years old, if they'd like to come and join us for Quantum Leap for young adults, that's going to be here in the Market Center. We're probably going to move that to the Saturday due to football schedules. It should be Saturday, July 14th, I believe is the date that we're going to have it on. And then CMA class is going to be on May 22nd from 9 to 10:30. So Mark, it might be that you might want to link up with Kristen for that. She can help you with that part right there. And then we may have to, we're probably definitely going to change, you like that, right?
Definitely maybe.
Definitely maybe. No, we're going to have to change our Red Day plan because I don't want anyone at the Blue Hole, thank you, Tom, while we've just had 5 inches of rain. We're supposed to have 5 inches of rain tomorrow night. Around this time of the year last year is where I saw the cow floating down the San Gabriel River, and the banks were way up, way up. So we're going to move that to Rachel. What are we working on right now?
We are looking at the caring place and the animal shelter, and we're looking to hear back. So that's all we have.
Okay.
The new animal shelter.
Yeah.
Still Thursday.
So it's still going to be on Thursday. Still going to be at 9 o'clock. And we will have a backup plan. Our goal is to have that done and in place by 3 o'clock today so that we can send you information about what we're going to do. If you would like to buy shirts, we got some more in. These are $10, KW Georgetown shirts. You can see Donna up at the front, and she can get you one of them. We have sizes all the way from kids, extra small to, I think we got all the way up to 4X. So yeah, we've got plenty of shirts available. All right. With that being said,
What did you say Red Day will be?
9 a.m. 9 a.m. Yeah. And if you have any vendors or partners that you'd like to have come out and join us for that, I mean, everyone is welcome. My kids are taking the day off of school, and they're going to help us with it as well. So, yeah. All right. Would our sponsor like to come in?
Sure.
Come on in. Sunview Inspections. Let's give it up for them.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all? I guess it's not really morning anymore. But, I'm Jerry Schmidt with Sunview Inspections. I do residential, commercial termite inspections. I'm licensed to do termite inspections also. I work all over Central Texas. I even have contacts in the Bell County area and have access to lock boxes there. So if you have any properties there that you need to get into, I can do that. I provide a 200% guarantee on my inspections, so if your client isn't happy after the inspection, I will refund their inspection fee and pay for another licensed inspector to inspect the house.
Wow.
If they have to do a second inspection for some reason, whether it's inspection or financing, and they just don't like the house, I will give them $100 off on the second inspection as long as it's not too far out. I do wells, spas, pools, sprinklers, pretty much the whole house. We have online scheduling. We provide warranties on our home inspection and our termite inspection, and I was going to say, for commercial inspections, do any of y'all do commercial inspections? I mean, not inspections, sorry, commercial properties?
The people who do them, most of them aren't in here.
Okay, that's fine.
Some of them, yes.
Well, I guess one thing is I'd like to ask questions. If you guys have any burning inspection questions, I know that's sometimes the case. And I like to provide something helpful. I'm here instead of just talk about me. So is there anything that y'all have?
You do septic tanks?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I know how to do it. And it's one of those things, I feel like a person that does that every single day is probably better at doing it than a home inspector is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
it's
my
kind of a
opinion.
crappy job.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not that. I mean, in terms of knowledge, it's one of those things, a home inspector sees them so rarely, even with all the things he doesn't have the experience of the guy that does it every day. And for me, that matters. You know?
Okay,
I
figured.
And they're so hard to predict in terms of how long it's going to take. I've been on inspections where the septic guy was there just as long as I was, just trying to find the tank.
Wow.
I decided I didn't really want to get into that.
I think one just closed 2 weeks ago with that rain, they're digging it up already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago they closed, I seen when they closed, out there on County Road 257, and they're out there digging up the septic right now. People already moved in.
Oh, man. Yeah, rain.
The rain is just say, I mean, that septic probably been in there.
Yeah.
You might not even have ladder lines, I don't know.
Septic inspections too, in my opinion, are something that you need to do as much as you can. I hate to say that. If you, all you do is open up the tank and just look in there, that's in my opinion not enough.
That's
the reason
not
why
an
I don't do that.
inspection,
If you
that's
dig
a-
it out and if you do the whole fields and the whole thing, that's up to you. I mean, in my opinion, but I would say in terms of commercial inspections, I had a client yesterday, a potential client call and ask, and he was wondering why I charged more to do the crawl space on his commercial property. And I realized later it's because the people he's talking to aren't going to go in the crawl space. So one thing to realize if you get into commercial, or if you're helping somebody with a commercial property, if it's, let's say, an old property in Old Town, it's really just an old house that's now a lawyer's office or something like that, I would recommend finding a home inspector that also does commercial, or a commercial guy that will do the more of a TREC inspection. The commercial standard is completely different. There is no TREC at all with a commercial property. So the commercial inspection standard is completely hands-off. They're not going to take the cover off the electrical panel. They're not going to go in the attic. They're not going to go in the crawl space. They're not going to run the heat and AC systems. They're not going to run any fixtures in the house. And so if you have an old property where that could be a concern, or if you have a client that's really concerned about that, make sure that you find somebody that will do the normal type of inspection. So I do both, you know, so, because the commercial guy is just, he's going to kind of look around and kind of tell you what he sees, but that's going to be it, so. Anyway, do you have any other questions, or any questions?
Do you do new construction?
I do, yes. Yep.
All three-phase?
I don't do the phase inspection in terms of new homes, I do it. I've never gotten into doing the phase inspections, so, yeah. For me, it just, in terms of, I'm normally so busy to coordinate the trips back out to do it. I just haven't found for me in my business model, I guess you could say, that it worked for me, but yeah. I know certain people who do it, and I know agents who use people who were, this is another thing where I think it really helps if you have a person who did that, you know, if they're like a builder or something like that. She uses me for her normal inspections because I don't scare people, and then she uses the ex-builder for her phase inspections because he'll call and argue with the builder and stuff like that. So if you're doing it, I recommend you find somebody like that that has that kind of experience. I just think it's more of a value because that's not a textbook kind of a thing. I wouldn't want to have to read my textbook to go out and figure out the construction. You know, if you haven't kind of come up doing that, I recommend finding somebody that has. That's just my opinion. But,
Yeah.
So.
Do you work Saturdays?
I do. Yep. And we're very. One thing about us, I would say, is different. Is we're very accessible. My wife answers the phones, and I'm the inspector. We're very flexible in terms of our schedule. If I can do a 5:30 inspection, fit it in, I will. And we're also very accessible in terms of getting us on the phone. I give people my cell number after the inspection. So, and as long as you own the house, you can call me. I've had people call me up 10 years after the inspection. Just they need a new roof. What do I do with this? And I'll even go back out to the house and look. So, yeah.
Do you charge per square foot?
I do. Yes.
He does go back out to the house. He inspected my son's new house in Vernon a few years ago, and Christopher called and just had a question. And Jerry probably could have answered it on the phone, but he chose to drive to Vernon and answer Christopher's question. So that impressed me and impressed my kids. So.
That's awesome.
Impresses me too.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is don't do a 60-page report. I'd rather the client and you talk and understand it better than to try to figure it all out through an inspection report. So if you ever have a client, if you have questions about whatever, you're welcome to call me too. If you got an inspection report and you're like, I don't know what this means, you can call me. So I'd like to be helpful.
Are your cards out there?
Yeah, I'll put my stuff out there so we can get to it.
Great. All right. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Have a wonderful week. And like I said, if you need help with command, don't be afraid of it. Come and see me, and we'll help you out with it.
Two questions.
Yeah.
I've got my profile and everything set up, but when I did the copies URL, I should do my smart view.
Okay, so.